Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here. Thank you so much for checking out this tutorial series with our newest partner, ButterDocs. Designers have Figma, developers have GitHub, and now content marketers have ButterDocs. This is a really cool product. I'm very excited about it. Not only is it a nice place to actually get your writing done, but it's also purpose-built for teams to work together. So writers, editors, clients, stakeholders, etc. It's built for these people to all work together, collaborate, provide feedback, etc. You'll see all of that. Rob gives us a demo. We go through each part of the product and show you how it works, how you can fine tune it for your own processes. It's great stuff. I think you'll really like it. If you want to check it out, you can get instant access. Just go to butterdocs.com/superpath. You get 30 days totally free. If you do want to upgrade, you can do it for just $100 a year. That's 70% off the list price. And if you want to just continue using it for free after that, you can use 3 documents for free as long as you like. So go check it out and provide feedback. Part of the reason that ButterDocs is working with Superpath is so that they can learn what content marketers want out of this product, and they will build it in. So please do provide your feedback to the ButterDocs team and help them build a product that is exactly what you want. So again, it's butterdocs.com/superpath. Thanks so much for checking out these videos and enjoy. Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here. Very excited to be chatting with Rob Carpenter, who heads up marketing at a company called ButterDocs. We're going to be doing a series of tutorials today to show you what ButterDocs is and what it can do for you, your content team, or you as a freelancer. It's a really cool product. When Rob and I first spoke, he told me that designers have Figma, developers have GitHub, and now content marketers have ButterDocs. And that was like a kind of like a wow moment for me. So we're going to see that. But first, Rob, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, and then tell us about ButterDocs. Like, what is the vision for this product?
Again, my name is Rob Carpenter. I run marketing at ButterDocs. And our vision is to replace Google Docs for writers. So that's a big task. Yeah. Like, we understand what we're doing here, like what we're up against. Companies are fairly entrenched with Google Docs, and all of us have used Google Docs forever to write in and to work with clients in and work with each other in. So what we're trying to do with this tutorial series and working with you and working with other people in the market is really showcase how ButterDocs is solving some of the problems that have just been weighing on us for years, and we've just gotten used to as writers. We want to talk about those problems. We want you to try ButterDocs, and then we want to learn how we can solve those problems really, really well for you and like legitimately replace Google Docs for you as your writing environment.
You know, when I saw the product the first time, I thought back to a previous life when I worked at QuickBooks, and we always felt that we were actually competing in many ways against Excel and Google Sheets. And there's sort of an analogy here, like you can work in Google Sheets and do your accounting there, or you can use QuickBooks, which is like a professional purpose-built tool for exactly this thing. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like you can use Google Docs to run content creation and collaboration workflow, but you're going to have to fill in a lot of gaps, which is why a lot of teams lean on other tools to supplement the workflow piece of it. But ButterDocs has all that stuff in here. Could you maybe just explain a little bit more about Google Docs? Like, what is the motivation to unseat it? And what are some of the problems you see with Google Docs as it relates to the way that content teams work?
Well, I mean, off the bat, again, it's just something that we've used, and we started using it because it was better than Word, right? And Word, we had these issues where we had version control issues, left and right. It had tons of formatting everywhere and features kind of bloat. It just wasn't like a great environment to write in. Google Docs comes, and now over the span of 15 plus 20 years or so, we've started to feel some other pains, right? And they kind of add up to hurt our productivity as writers and hurt and slow down the writing process for teams. So some of them I can reel off, and you'll just be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like that does suck." First off, it's not quite built for writing. It's built for editing, like it's editing a document. So I don't think anyone has told me like, no, I just love writing in Google Docs. It's not exactly the most pleasant environment. It's okay, but I'm not getting joy out of it.
If I'm sharing something in a Google Doc, I'm almost certainly writing it somewhere else and then pasting it into the doc to share it.
Right. So that's not exactly what it's built for, especially like for the writing process. It's not built for that. So what we've learned is companies and teams are having to kind of hack together solutions where they're doing the research and outlining in one area, and then they're doing in the project planning in another tool, and then doing note taking in another tool, and then they're using Google Docs for the collaboration side, or they're putting it all in one document because that's the only environment that you have in Google Docs, and it's what we call like a catch-all document. So then you have like your research here, just in like a bullet point list, that people only feel like only one person can really contribute to, um, and then you turn that into your outline, and then you turn that in the draft, and you're trying to do it all in this one place. When you actually get to the writing portion, you're having to scroll up and down to reference that outline. If you don't have your research in the document, you probably have another window open with dozens of browser tabs open you have to click in and out of. So that's just like the writing process is not ideal because you're not ever able to get into that focus zone, to focus on writing, because you're having to click in and out, or scroll around to actually reference what you need to reference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very cool that ButterDocs is sort of simultaneously tackling the creativity part of writing by giving people a comfortable, distraction-free, calm place to actually do the writing, as well as the collaboration / workflow element, which is equally important in a B2B environment because nothing happens in a silo. Like there's ways to do these things separately, but to have them all together becomes really powerful. Like it's really like a nod to the content marketer. Like here's a tool that is built specifically for you, so that you can do your job in exactly the way it's meant to be done, right? Like think creatively in a nice kind of open space to do it, and then way to collect feedback, work with stakeholders across the org, et cetera. So it's set up really nicely. And we're going to show you exactly what all this looks like too.
Yeah, I want to make clear like what we're trying to solve. And so again, we're not just trying to replace Google Docs just to replace Google Docs, and be another company. And we're also not just providing a cleaner environment. There's a lot of these other issues that revolve around the editing process that we've just hacked together solutions for our writing process. And I can name some of them off, and I'm sure you'll resonate with them. Basically, you're in your document and you're writing, and all of a sudden, an anonymous elephant or badger kind of
it's
pops
like looking
up
over your shoulder. Yeah.
in the upper right, like looking at you and peering as you write. What happens then? As a writer, what do you do?
You clam up, or at least that's what I do. I start to get nervous that someone's watching the messy part.
So, I mean, it's like anxiety inducing. But what I do as a writer as well is I stop writing and I go and create a duplicate of the document. I'm going to go write in private over here. Like, get away from me, boss or client or what have you, or anyone else. I want to write in private. And then whenever I'm ready, I want to share that and start that collaboration process. So that's one example. Or, you share it with someone, and if you're lucky, you've set up the right permissions, and what they've done is they've added a ton of comments and a ton of strike throughs. And you're like, well, how do I even manage this? Like, how do I go through this? How do I decide what to start with? Maybe it's so butchered up that you just have to like start over. And so that's been a common, problem that we've talked with writers about, and issues that they've dealt with of how do we manage the editing? How do we edit the edits?
You're touching on something which has come up in the Superpath community several times, which is this idea that iteration is not necessarily the same thing as editing. And many teams do a thing that I think is more akin to iteration, where they just make lots and lots of changes to documents, and soon they actually start to get worse, not better.
Yeah. The original story is like gone, potentially. Yeah. So that vision of the writer at some point, it kind of goes away.
Exactly. And ButterDocs sort of accounts for that too, with branches, which is something we'll talk about, but you can actually create branches of your documents to keep track of things. And that will make a lot more sense when we actually go look at it too.
Excited to dive into all of it. Again, this tutorial series, what we're going to do is talk about these different stages of writing, and talk about the pains that exist within them, and what we can do in ButterDocs to solve these pains and have a more productive writing process. That's really our mission at ButterDocs is helping writers and content leads build the most productive writing operations possible.
In Japanese manufacturing philosophy, there's this idea of waste, and waste is measured and then methodically eliminated. In many cases, it's time, right? And that is the thing that happens so often as content teams collaborate, is that stuff gets lost. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. It's hard to find things for a variety of different reasons. Tools also, right? Like they don't enable really productive writing. And it sort of creates what you and the ButterDocs team call chaotic writing, where there's just like a lot of little things that accumulate to create a lot of friction in the process, and that slows things down. It costs money. And it's like, to me, it's like kind of the same idea as like waste in the manufacturing process. But you all call it chaotic writing. And I think that really sums up nicely exactly what it is that you're trying to eliminate. So maybe, Rob, could you just kind of explain chaotic writing from your and ButterDocs perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we started off working with creative writers, and when we talked with them, they were telling us they're using a bunch of different tools to write, say, a novel, and that was chaotic in and of itself. They're having to jump from a project management app to a notes app to the writing environment to another writing environment where they would share. And I'm like, wow, that's full of chaos. When we started talking with more content leaders and freelance writers and agencies, it's like was even more compounded. And there's so much chaos, not just in the process of writing, but the process in collaborating around writing and through the editing process, especially. That's adding friction, just making it hard to get simple writing done and simple feedback from people and incorporate that feedback. We're all been very used to this process of using Google Docs and dealing with it. But what we've learned is if you're able to kind of chip away and solve all these little moments that really add up, you're going to be able to produce content quicker. You're going to miss less deadlines. You're going to produce better content together. We call that process of kind of chipping away at the chaotic writing issues that come up, writing operations. So that's what we're really trying to help companies do with ButterDocs is really, you've worked on your content operations. You have a solid kind of high level process down. ButterDocs helps you optimize your writing operations and reduce the amount of friction in that process of producing great writing together.
I love it.
So yeah, we're going to dive into a lot more of these pains, and it's going to feel a little uncomfortable probably as we get going.
Awesome. Let's do it. And just a quick reminder to folks, go to butterdocs.com/superpath. You can sign up for free, no credit card required. And if you do want to upgrade, you're going to get 70% off. If you choose not to upgrade, you still get to keep 3 docs that you can use for free.
Our goal right now with all of this and for the indefinite future is to get ButterDocs in the hands of you guys, writers, content leaders. Have you guys try it out and see if it really helps you be more productive as an individual. And then we can, you can explore how it can help you, be more productive as a writing team and as a writing organization. So what we're looking for is really jump in there, give us feedback. We are doing this as much as we can in public, and we're going to be trying to improve this product along the way. So yeah, thank you for giving it a try and getting in contact with us, giving us feedback. We're excited to start this process.
Go check it out. Rob, you've been super clear to me that you really want feedback. You want this in the hands of content marketers. You want them to tell you what they think so that you all can continue improving it. So would really encourage folks to go check that out. ButterDocs.com/superpath. And we'll see you in the next video. Hey, and thanks so much for checking out these videos. ButterDocs has been an awesome partner of Superpath. We really appreciate their support. Again, you can go check it out, ButterDocs.com/superpath. Get instant access for free for 30 days. And if you want to upgrade, $100 for a year. Thanks so much. Take care.